You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
CBC Online, visiting with Coach Scott Pingel, coach of the 2-0 CBC Cadets, ranked number 1 in Missouri, and coach, big test this week. The Billikens from St. Louis University come down. What do you see from that? What do you see happening this week?
Well, anytime you play SLU, it's our first conference game. You know, it's a great battle. Our guys get excited to play a conference opponent. They get especially excited to play SLU. So I'm expecting, if the weather holds off, which I'm not sure it will, I'm expecting good things happen for us. But they got a great little squad. They got speed all over the place. So it's gonna be a great matchup.
Throw a name out, Wingo. We certainly know Ronnie Wingo, and his little brother's heading the ship over there at SLU. Talk about what kind of challenges he presents for you guys.
Well, anytime you got a mobile quarterback, that can throw it and run it, it kind of scares you a little bit because they like to spread you out and try to run in those creases that the defense will allow by spreading out. So, he's a special kid, special back. We had fits with Ronnie, but we did pretty good over the years with him, so hopefully we can contain Raymond.
Last week you came out of Eureka 30-6, but that score was a little not really indicative of the game. You guys really had to kind of push and make some things happen. Was that a frustrating game for you, or how did that game play out in your mind?
Well, I think in the moment you're frustrated, but as you look back, we're a young team. A lot of people think we got a lot of talent. We are fairly young on offense, and we made a lot of mistakes that I think a young team is going to make. We try to correct them this week. We're trying to get on them a little bit more on the offense side of the ball, and hopefully that will clean up. And our defense did a great job of bending but never breaking. So, kudos to our defense for stepping up when they needed to.
As you mentioned earlier, SLU's your first conference opponent this year. DeSmet's obviously a team everyone's kind of watching. How tough is this conference going to be for you guys, and how important is it not to overlook anybody in this conference?
Well, I think anytime you play an MCC, it's going to be a great conference. There's 3 teams in our district from our conference, so us, DeSmet, and SLU. So this game actually has more importance than a normal year. Vianney and Chaminade. Vianney's pounding the ball all over the place. Chaminade's always going to be tough and physical. So there are no easy games in our conference. And
certainly on the other sideline, you got Coach Kornfeld with SLU, who always kind of gives you fits a little bit. Your impression of Coach and how he handles his program over there?
I like Gary a lot. Gary was one of the first guys I reached out to when I got this job. He gave me a lot of good insight on how to be a head coach. He shared his knowledge, shared his wealth. So, I was very happy to get to know Gary on a personal level. So he's a great friend of mine, I would say now, and I'll do anything for him.
And then that's an interesting point, though. While you guys kind of battle on the sidelines, you guys are your colleagues, and you guys talk, all the coaches. Building that network of coaches, that's been real important to you.
It has been, because I know that I was a young coach, and I'm still a young coach, and most of the MCC's kind of veterans, so I always ask them for advice, and they're very forthcoming and giving me it. So hopefully I can share it down the road too.
And finally, with the impending weather, we're not really sure what's going to happen. How does that affect your game planning? You have to kind of have 2 different game plans depending on the weather?
It's definitely going to affect the game and how the games are called, but the game planning is going to stay the same. We're preparing for both ways. We practiced with wet balls yesterday, so we're in prepare mode in case it happens. But we should be able to manage it if it does.
And again, you guys have been doing a great job in the air. A lot of touchdowns with your passing game. With the weather, will that be affected, you think, or how do you just kind of battle through with something like that?
I think you got to dictate or the rain will dictate how much you pull back your play calling. If it's just sprinkling, we should be fine. But if it's really coming down hard in buckets, then obviously we're gonna have to be more probably on the ground. But they'll be doing the same thing. So it's not real football, I think, when it rains that much.
That's true. And finally, lately you guys kind of had the Junior Bills number, but certainly every game's different. Talk about just the success you've had over the university and kind of what's going on in your mind. I mean, you really get up for this game.
Well, I think that anytime you play these guys, I know what it means to the alumni, I know what it means to their alumni. So it is extra motivational for all of our players and coaches. So it's fun to play SLU and challenge ourselves because you're going to get their best effort.
Again, that's CBC coach Scott Pingel. Remember, you can watch that game on the Cadet Network Friday night, 7 p.m. Bob Ryan's on the call. Coach, we'll catch up with you next week. Good luck.
Thank you.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.